Welcome to another Destiny 2 build guide, everyone. Today we are focusing on the Arc 3.0 Warlock. I've got a build revolving all around the new Lightning Surge Arc aspect. This brand new Warlock melee states that while sliding, activate your charge melee ability to blink forward, calling down lightning strikes that jolt targets as you rematerialize. This is one of the best melees in the game now, and I'm going to go over a build to assure that you have your melee up pretty much at all times. Now before we get into this build, I will have a Destiny item manager link in the description, so you can just copy and paste it in there and all the mods will just automatically equip to your character. It makes it really easy. So Guardians, let's get into this. Going over the subclass, we're on this Stormcaller. I'm using Chaos Reach. You can use Storm Trance if you want, it really doesn't matter. Got the Healing Rift, got the Burst Glide Jump, and then we have the Chain Lightning Arc Melee. The reason we're using this is because it has a quicker cooldown. As you can see, the Ball Lightning Melee over here has a base cooldown of 153, and the Chain Lightning only has a 1 minute 30 second cooldown. So that's why we're using this, to assure we get our melee charge back as fast as possible. I'm using the Storm Grenade. Use whatever grenade you want. This isn't a grenade build, it's a melee build. Then for the first aspect, we have the Electrostatic Mind. Defeating targets with arc abilities or defeating jolted or blinded targets creates an Ionic Trace. Collecting an Ionic Trace makes you amplified. Ionic Traces give you ability energy, which we're going to need to get our melee back. And then of course we have the Lightning Surge Arc aspect that allows you to do this new blink melee. And every time you hit an enemy with this, it's going to jolt them, causing them to take additional damage. Now let's go over the fragments. First up over here, I have Spark of Resistance. While surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. Gives you a +10 to strength. We're using this because you're going to be blinking into enemies being surrounded by them, so it makes a lot of sense. And we have Spark of Discharge. Arc weapon final blows have a chance to create an Ionic Trace. Ionic Traces give you ability energy, which we're going to need to get our melee back. Then we have Spark of Ions. Defeating a jolted target creates an Ionic Trace. So remember what I said about the melee, it jolts targets and you can pretty much one hit every single red bar add. So it's like a guaranteed Ionic Trace when you get a melee kill, and it's going to get you your melee energy back, of course. Then we have Spark of Beacons. While you're amplified, your arc special weapon final blows create a blinding explosion. Blinding effects in PvE are top tier, so that's why we're using this. My strength is at a tier 8 right now. Got a cooldown of 45 seconds, which isn't bad, but if you can get this all the way up to 100, this build will be even better. And I'm also using the new Fallen Sunstar helmet for the Warlock. Comes with the exotic perk Ionic Conductor. Ionic Traces you create move faster and grant you additional ability energy. Nearby allies also gain ability energy when you collect an Ionic Trace. This pairs well with all the aspects that we're using to spawn Ionic Traces, and it's going to get us even more melee energy back. And the first mod that I'm using on my helmet is Bountiful Wells. This is going to spawn an additional well every time you create an elemental well. Very vital for this build. And then on my gauntlets, my chest piece, and my boots, we are using the Melee Well Maker. Powered melee combatant final blows spawn elemental wells matching your subclass energy type. So 3 of these mods paired with the Bountiful Well mod is going to guarantee 4 elemental wells every time you get 1 melee kill, which is amazing. Then I have some artifact mods on here. Focusing Strike grants class ability energy when you cause damage with this melee attack. This is going to pair well with some other mods that we're using on our class item. On the boots, we have 2 Invigoration mods. Reduces melee cooldown each time you pick up an orb. As you can see in the footage right here, I pick up this 1 orb and it grants us a little bit of melee energy. Very good mod, especially when you're playing group activities. Everyone on your fire team is going to be creating orbs everywhere, allowing you to get your melee back even faster. And then on our bond, we have Well of Striking. Picking up an Arc Elemental Well grants you additional melee energy. Multiple copies of this do increase the effect. We have 2 Outreach mods on here. Reduces the melee cooldown when using your class ability. And then we have an artifact mod, Amped Up, Stay Amplified Longer. So everything about this build is gaining extra melee energy, which is pretty much going to guarantee that as soon as you use your melee, you're going to get it right back. But for some extra insurance, I actually have the Smite of Moraine over here. On this particular role, we have the Pugilist perk. This actually states that final blows with this weapon generate melee energy. So if for some reason you don't get your melee all the way back, all you have to do is get 1 or 2 kills with this pulse rifle and you will have your melee energy back and ready to throw that charge out again. And then I'm pairing this with 2 other arc weapons that goes with the fragments that create ionic traces on arc weapon kills. So Guardians, that's pretty much the build. It's a really fun build. New melee is really fun, very devastating, and I haven't tested out too many other exotics with this, but I would imagine that Necrotic Grips or something like Winter's Guile that boosts melee damage could also actually work for this build. So let me know if you guys try those exotics out. If you guys are new here, found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Follow me over on Twitch if you want to hang out more, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.